Because of the proactive suppression of the digital economy, digital assets in the United States by Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler, the prices that you're seeing today, in my mind, people say, oh, wow, Bitcoin zoomed up. No, Bitcoin was artificially suppressed.
The value of the cryptocurrency was expected to rise significantly in 2024, according to experts. When Bitcoin reached about $60,000 in April, one well-known market analyst, Anthony Scaramucci, predicted that it may hit $170,000 by the end of the cycle. A number of variables, such as greater institutional usage, better market infrastructure, and the increasing likelihood of favorable regulatory developments that might boost investor confidence even more, are driving this bullish prognosis. Bitcoin has emerged as a possible hedge against inflation and financial instability as a result of increased institutional interest and acceptability as a store of value. In the past, Bitcoin's price momentum has also been aided by halving events, which lower the rate of new coin supply. Many analysts, like Anthony Scaramucci, are predicting that Bitcoin's price will continue to rise after the most recent halving in April 2024, potentially hitting new all-time highs. To learn more, see excerpts from Anthony Scaramucci's interview.
I understand that Mr. Buffett is selling stocks now. He's built a cash war chest of $350 billion. If we have a 20 or 30% correction in the market, people will look back at that and say, okay, well, Buffett saw something. He didn't like where asset prices were. He didn't like where the market was priced relative to GDP, relative to forward earnings, relative to book. And so he started shedding some of his assets. He's 93 or 94. He's a very, very smart, brilliant investor. I do like to follow him. So there could be some air pockets ahead for the market. I'm not saying that there isn't, but I have his longer term view of the market, meaning I look at the market right now and it could be expensive on all those metrics, but there's something happening that is transformative. It's very, very different from the dot-com revolution. And so when I was in my mid-30s, like you are today, we had a dot-com revolution. And in 1999, we were told that eyeballs mattered and companies like Yahoo, your old company, were doing very, very well, and they had very hard to justify valuations. And then the market imploded. Those stocks went down 40, 50, 60, 80%. Some of those companies went out of business. But the great companies, like an Amazon, may have gone down 80 or 90%, but look at where it is today. If you had the foresight to just hold on to these positions or to build a position. And so I can't pick the day where the market's going to correct. But it's not a matter of if the market will correct, it's when the market will, because this is the nature of stock markets, this is the nature of cycle. So when I look at AI, is there an AI bubble? Perhaps there is. Is there a bubble in the Mag 7? You know, those 7 great stocks that are all worth $1 trillion plus, and they are heavily, if you cap adjust the S&P 500, they're heavily, 25, 30% of the overall 500. And so would you be concerned about that? I would. But then I look at the monumental amounts of growth, the productivity gains, the age of robotics, the age of therapy, talking about biotechnology. We're moving from chemotherapy to immunotherapy. We're moving from, they're going to take cells out of your body and they're going to make a tumor, and then they're going to put it into an AI chamber and they're going to develop compounds to hit the cells with. And then the computer is going to say, this person's DNA is sequenced this way, and these drug compounds will eliminate that tumor without causing any overall negative impacts on the patient's body, right? So we're moving from chemotherapy to advances in immunotherapy. It's going to drop the percentage of healthcare the GDP percentage that we spend on healthcare. The robotics are going to improve the way we're delivering goods and services, going to lower costs. It's a disinflationary thing. AI is going to, in some ways, hurt certain industries and hurt certain jobs. But every time that's happened, better jobs have come out of it. What happened is, because of the proactive suppression of the digital economy, digital assets in the United States by Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler, the prices that you're seeing today, in my mind, people say, oh, wow, Bitcoin zoomed up. No, Bitcoin was artificially suppressed by poor regulators, capricious, arbitrary, czarist-like regulators that have now been removed from the system due to the fairness of a democracy, and they're gone. And so now the price is back to where it should have been and could have been in January of 2022. And so I think these prices are actually low. I think these prices are going a lot higher once we get bipartisan clarity on what a security is versus a token. What's the clarity on stablecoin regulation? What are the rules? Okay, will the SEC rescind its lawsuit against Coinbase and Kraken and then provide rules? Well, now all the SEC has done is they're trying to regulate by enforcement, and they're forcing people to spend millions of dollars on legal fees and shoot in the dark trying to get something right. I'm still close to a lot of people that talk to President Trump fairly regularly. He tells people that Bitcoin is the new oil. He sees it as a potential strategic reserve issue for the United States. He sees it as something that the United States needs to be a big part of. And so I applaud him for that. I like calling balls and strikes on people. And I think they've done a good job so far of laying out a framework. And the last thing, which I think is also very important, is there are senators like Gillibrand, our senator here, and senators like Schumer, senior senator from New York, that have told people privately, myself included, that they want cryptocurrency, stablecoin clarity in terms of what the legislation is going to look like. And they're hoping to do that in the first year of the next congressional term. So for all those reasons, from a regulatory point of view and from a demand point of view, you'd have to be bullish on this asset class. We're going to own some Bitcoin. The state of Wisconsin, the pension fund said, we're going to own it. They announced a $150 million purchase. I didn't speak to anybody there, but I know how pension fund managers think. If you're not long Bitcoin, you're short Bitcoin. And let me explain why. Because it will eventually be in the pie chart of global tactical asset allocation. So every big pension fund has some gold. Every big pension fund has real estate. They have private equity. They have stocks and bonds. They have other assets. And Bitcoin is going to work its way into that asset mix. And again, maybe it'll only be, Julia, 1 or 2%, but then you'll need to own it, right? Because you're going to be compared when the consultants come in to speak to you or your board comes in to speak to you, they're going to compare your performance to the overall pie chart of tactical asset allocation. And Bitcoin's going to be part of that. And so you got to get long it, because if you're not long it, you're going to be short it. So when you think about what I'm saying, if I'm right, this is going to be worth 10x where it is today. And that would make it the size of gold. And gold, Julia, in terms of the overall capitalization of liquid assets around the world, at $18 trillion, it's still quite small. It's still quite insignificant. So Bitcoin can get to that number, frankly, without surprising anybody, without having it be a monumental move or a monumental monetary crisis anywhere in our society. I bought it at 17. It went to 69. Then it went back to 15. But thank God, okay, I had, at least at this point in my career, the patience, the wisdom, the luck, whatever you want to call it, to hold it. And so I held it. And now we're sitting here at 93. I think it's going to go much higher, like 150 to 300 over the next 5 years. Can't pinpoint it, but I think it will. And I want to be a part of it. And I want my clients to be a part. I want my clients to not miss out